So the manner and landscape in which musicians make money has changed significantly over the past 5 to 10 years. And if you're still using all of the older methods and you haven't migrated to at least some of the new methods, then you're on a path to being just another has-been broke musician. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways that musicians are currently making money and how you can use them for yourself or your band. So let's get to it. Hey, what's good? And welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So the world and the music industry has changed significantly over the past 5, 10 to 20 years. You know, a lot of the ways that musicians made money back then is a lot different than the way musicians make money now. And one of the biggest mistakes that musicians make is not changing and growing with the times, not growing musically and not growing in the industry as well. We always seem to reach this sort of tipping point to where we've gotten by with just being good enough and, using the methods that we've always used to try to get to where we are. We reach this level of success and we tend to think that the methods that got us to that level of success will be the same methods that will always make us successful. So we try to ride them out as long as possible. And while we're riding out that success and riding out those methods, the world is changing around us. So we look up one day and the world is completely different around us and we don't know how to navigate it in terms of making money as a musician. We're no longer in a time to where you can just sit in the house and wait on that phone call for a gig and then that gig is going to lead you to making lots of money. Although that still happens in some cases, it's much more rare than it was, 5, 10, 20 years ago. And even the chances of, say, getting signed to, some major record label is a lot more slim than it was, back then 10, 20 years ago. So these 5 money methods I'm about to share with you are based all in one concept, and you really need to get this, as this may be the most important thing I say in this video. And the concept is this: if you want to make money as a musician in today's society, in today's music industry, you are not just a keyboard player, you're not just a drummer, you're not just a vocalist, you are a business. And if you aren't doing at least some version of these 5 methods I'm about to share with you, then you're going to be left behind, my friend. So with that said, let's jump into the 5 ways that musicians are currently making money. Now, right before we jump into those tips, I want to let you know that I'm giving away 4 of my most used contracts for free. Now, these contracts can be used for booking high-paying clients for music production, gigs, and other music work that you do, and they include a bid sheet in which you can send to prospects when they ask that question of how much do you charge. And it includes an artist rider sheet which you can give to clients to let them know everything you will need for your live performances when they book you. And again, these contracts are completely free and you can find the download link to them in the description of this video. Now, the first way that musicians are making money is with personal experience through membership and subscription sites. Now, this is where you allow your fans and followers to have a more personal and up-close experience with you, and they pay you a monthly recurring fee to access you and your content. For example, you could set up a website where your followers get access to your new CD or your new album, or you could give them access to unreleased music that you haven't released. And you can offer things like exclusive benefits and discounts on things like your merchandise or anything that you have coming out, or you could, even offer them free video footage of like some of your live performances and things like that. Now, this is a really great way for musicians to make money because it can be done with small subscription fees from your followers. So say you only charged $10 a month for your subscription plan to your personal content, and you had 100 followers and fans that subscribe to that content. Well, that's an extra $1,000 a month that you could be making just from, subscription-based services for a small fee from each individual. So look, when you're out on a gig and you're using your phone to record all of those performances that you do, all of those things are valuable and all of those things can be used as content to give your followers and fans as part of a subscription-based plan. Now, the next way that musicians are making money is through physical CDs and merchandise. So I know that you've heard that physical media like CDs and DVDs and things like that are a dying technology, and that streaming is the way to go. Now, while it is true that physical media is a dying technology, it fails to understand what these types of things offer to fans and followers through personal experiences. At the end of the day, your fans and followers want some sort of symbol of your relationship with them. They want to be able to say, yeah, I met him, or yeah, I met her, or yeah, I met that band, and they want to be able to have some sort of symbol to acknowledge that relationship. And they want to have something to be able to show to their friends when they say those types of things. And in the music industry, guess what kind of symbol does that better than anything? An autographed copy of your CD, or an autographed t-shirt or sweatshirt. And this is why selling things like CDs and physical merchandise is still a viable way that musicians make lots of money in today's current society. Now, the next way that musicians make lots of money is through gigs, live shows, and tours. Now, gigs, live shows, and tours has been a way that musicians have always made money. It's one of these methods that has kind of stood the test of time that, musicians can use from, 20, 30 years ago, and that they still use today to make money. It remains sort of this absolute foundation in which musicians make money. No matter what stage a musician or an artist or a band is in, doing gigs and live shows and performances is sort of the quintessential way to make money. And the reason is because doing gigs and live shows regularly can sometimes equal the amounts that you would make on a part-time job, and sometimes even a full-time job. And doing tours is even one of the ways that signed artists make lots of money to, say, pay back the label for the advances that they've gotten. So musicians definitely generate a lot of income from performing live. Now, another method that musicians use to make money is online shows. Now, online shows are similar to performing live in-person gigs, except that they are performed virtually over the internet, and broadcast to social media, things like Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And it's not a really brand new concept. It's been sort of happening since the advent of social media and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, but it's definitely something that has sort of heightened over the past couple of years. And it's definitely heightened during the pandemic of the coronavirus because a lot of musicians have been without gigs. So during the coronavirus time, musicians took to online broadcasting to keep performing and make money with their live performances. And the plus side of online shows is that you have the potential to reach a much wider and broader audience than you would, say, playing at a local club in your city. And you can do it from sitting in the comfort of your own home. Now, the execution of doing online shows is a bit different than that of doing live in-person shows, and I did a training video on some of the best practices that you can use while doing online shows, and I'll link a card to that in the description of this video. But just know that doing online shows is a viable way that musicians are currently making money. Now, the fifth way that musicians are making money is through teaching lessons. And this is one of the more classic traditional ways that musicians make money. The thing is, there's always people that want to learn how to do what you do as a musician, and they're willing to pay you to teach them how to do it. And musicians charge premium prices to teach lessons, but even at lower prices, the amount of money that you can make from teaching lessons over time substantially adds up. So let's say you taught piano lessons or guitar lessons or voice lessons for $50, per 30-minute session, one session per week, and say you had 4 students. Well, that's $200 a week for only 2 hours of teaching time. Now just think if you charged $75 per 30-minute session per one session per week, and you had 10 students. Now you can do the math on that, but that rounds out to about $40,000 a year for only working 5 hours per week. So question of the day, what are some of the methods that you're using as a musician to make money? Are you using any of the methods that I listed here, or are you using some different methods? Jump down in the comment section and let me know. I definitely want to hear about those methods. Now on to the power tip I promised you. So one of the best ways to make lots of money as a musician is to combine 2 or 3 of the methods that I listed here in this video. So if you're doing live gigs and live performances and live tours and shows, make sure you're also selling physical merch like, CDs and t-shirts and things like that. If you're teaching lessons, you can also be doing online shows here and there to bring in some income. Combining and customizing these methods to fit your needs can easily make you 6 figures a year. So that's it for this video. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.